Stop chasing invalid leads. There's too many times where you guys are getting tricked, you're getting fooled. You are not going after a correct surplus funds opportunity. In today's video, I am gonna help you guys get over that hurdle. Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to my page, Money Making Juggernaut. I'm your host, Derek Richardson, the #1 educator in the asset recovery business. Today, I have a great video in store. I am gonna help you guys out when it comes to targeting correct surplus funds. There's too many of you guys going out there thinking that you have a surplus deal when actually you don't. So I'm gonna give you guys some pointers, some tips so that you can target correct surplus opportunities so that you not only waste your time, you don't waste the client's time. When it comes to surplus funds, the first thing that we need to understand is what surplus funds are. They're the remaining profit after a foreclosure. Keyword, remaining profit, which means that the property must sell for more than what was owed to induce a profit. Now, the reason why some of you guys are getting tricked is you are just going based off of the final sell amount and you're comparing it to the opening bid. So specifically for mortgage foreclosures, if you guys see just the opening bid and it's like 100,000 or 150,000 or 200,000, basically a number that just looks too good to be an actual amount that's owed, like if it's a whole 000, 200,000, 100,000, 150,000, you should be wary of those. This is a scenario in which the trustee or the county is just starting the bid at that amount. It does not necessarily mean that was the amount owed. And the tricky part is not every state follows these guidelines. Like for example, Florida, when you see their opening bid, when you see that start of their foreclosures, it's always going to be the amount that is actually owed. Then you have Ohio, for example, where their opening bid is not actually the amount owed. In actuality, it is 2/3 of the appraised value. So this is why you guys need to know information about how your county holds foreclosures or the county that you're targeting. It's very important that you understand that, because think about it. If a county starts the auction at 2/3 of the appraised value and you're thinking that, hey, that's the amount that is owed, then the property sells. If the amount owed is lower than what they just mentioned or higher, there may not actually be a surplus. So it's very important that when you're doing your research that you figure out that final amount that is owed. Now, the things that you should be looking for are final judgment, final writ, WRIT, writ of execution, things like that, because that's where you're gonna see how much was owed. You might see published bid compared to opening bid. Published bid is gonna typically include the amount of the final judgment plus any additional interest or charges. So this is why you guys have to get into the habit of performing due diligence, all right, in which you're going after leads that are selling for more than what was owed, not necessarily properties that are selling for more than the opening bid. And for those who are like, okay, now that actually makes sense, how can I apply this to my county right here, right now? Well, you need to do some research. Take a look at the data. Are they referring to the opening bid just as a number to start the auction, or is that the actual amount that is owed? And do some research. If you're working on a judicial scenario, judicial in which the county or the sheriff is hosting the sale, take that case number, go into the docket and figure out exactly how much was owed. They should tell you a default judgment. You should be looking for a document that says final judgment, or you should be looking for a document that says final writ or writ, WRIT, of execution. For example, if you guys are looking on a website and it shows an opening bid and you're on auction.com, well, auction.com's opening bid might just be the amount to start the foreclosure. It may not actually be the amount that is owed. And if this is a non-judicial scenario, you can't really go on the county's website and really do that research. But what you can do is go on Property Radar, and then you can see how much was actually owed on their mortgage. So there's always going to be a way that we can go and find out exactly how much was owed. But this is a huge mistake that I see a lot of people make, where they think, okay, this property sold, it's automatically a surplus, when in actuality there isn't. Now, when should you do this research? That's the key part. You have two options. You can perform your due diligence before you market, or you can perform your due diligence after you market. Me personally, we perform our due diligence after after we market. So what we do is we get a whole list of any properties that are being sold to a third-party bidder for more than what the opening bid was. We are going to put that on our spreadsheet. Then we're going to market them, and when we get a hold of them, then we're going to perform our due diligence. Before we even continue with the conversation with the client, before we try to sign them up, before we do anything, we just have a response back from them. Now we're going to verify. The reason why I like that approach better than the first, and ultimately up to you, is research takes time. So imagine if there's 300 sales that took place that week, and if you perform research on every single 300 and then you narrow it down to maybe 120 valid opportunities, well, guess what? All that research time could have been used towards marketing. And what we do is we market, then when we get a hold of a client, then we focus our attention on those, because guys, you're not going to get a hold of every single person that has gone through a foreclosure. There's oftentimes where you're probably only getting a handful of maybe less than 10%. So I like to do the research after I have a response back from a client. We then go validate the surplus. Then if it's good, now we actually put in our time and effort. If it's bad, we tell them, hey, unfortunately, there is no surplus. But it's up to you guys. Also, if you have a team, yes, you could outsource that work and make them only target valid surpluses. So just keep that in mind. All right, guys, hopefully this video helps you when it comes to targeting correct surplus opportunities. If you're interested in learning this business from somebody who's been doing it since 2018, check the link in the description. Use the code TAKEACTION, all one word. You get $100 off. I'm looking forward to helping you out.